reading?
What the hell?
RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Friday. This is unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, and humanity. My name is Tara Devlin. And we meet every Friday evening around this time. And we get through the week, I don't know, process it. It's therapy for the resistance. It's a place for normal people to hang out and get to know each other, laugh, cry. We run the gamut of emotions, so we'll see. You never know what'll happen. Let's see. I see the chat room at youtube.com/C channel /Tarabuster is filling up. And I see Jim already has the super chat. Thank you so much, Jim, for your super chat right out of the gate. And thank you, Richard W., for your super chat right out of the gate. Another great show, Tara. All right, let's see. I hope so. It's great when we get together. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It does matter, but it doesn't. You know what I mean? Once if we're together, it's a great show. Right? That's my opinion. I couldn't do this without you. So if you can, please become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. That will be on my tombstone. And, hopefully not too soon. I will. I think I might put that on my tombstone. If I have a tombstone. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm trying to think what to do with my remains. It's on my mind. You got to think of these things. I wish I could build a mausoleum, and then I could have I would put some little spaces underneath for community cats to live. So there you go. That's my dream. And then people would come visit me when they feed the community cats. And, not just feed them, but care for them. TNR, care for them. Try to get them homes if possible. And, and then they would that's how I would go down in history as the cat lady. And then maybe some people will go make a pilgrimage to the cat lady mausoleum. This is what I think about sometimes. Maybe. You never know. I go to the Met sometimes, and I love going to, because they have a lot of Roman artifacts, and they have a lot of Roman, headstones, tombstones. To me, that's very interesting. Of course, the bodies are lost to time, but you just think about the people. Think about just like us. They were just like us. They had to deal with morons just like we do. That's one of the things about being a human. Humanity evolves, but some quicker than others. Yes, I'm not going to the body farm. No way. Winston Smith says, donate me to the body farm. No, no, no. That creeps me out. I guess some. Actually, you know what? I should have put that on my, because I am an organ donor. So I need to put that on my stipulations, because they ask you what exclusions in your donor form. And I just wrote, well, maybe this counts too. I wrote, I do not want to be in the bodies exhibit. So hopefully that translates to the body farm too. Because that's all I need, to be catching a football or something for Eternia. for Eternia. Eternity. I can't even talk. Eternia. It's like Narnia. I'll be like, oh, God. It never ends. So, yes, Steven on the chat. Hi, Tara. Have a great show. I'm glad I found you. New York Steve. Nice to see you, Steve. I'm glad you found us, too. So, let's see. We also have a patron. Not just a patron, but a sponsor, a supporter of the show who hosts the show over at APS Radio News. And is I would have to say, one of the greatest sponsors of this show. So if you can, check out APS Radio News, which is a media aggregate. It's a independent media outlet that doesn't just have liberals on it. Has all different points of view. So if you can, please, that's what we do. When we say we stick together, we win. We support each other and support the people who keep this show going and growing, like Charlie from APS Radio News, who is also a great guy. Okay? Everybody, I give you a lot of instructions in the beginning of the show. So you know that. So let's see. I know. That's sad. Lisa Marie Presley died. It is sad. I feel bad. But I didn't know her, and I was not, Elvis, I'm not a big Elvis, okay, it is sad. It is sad. But anyway, you know what's sadder? Let's get into it. I wanted to talk, obviously I've been a little bit obsessed with George Santos, if that is his name. And because it's just beginning, really. The story is not yet unfolded completely, and the more that we find out, the worse it gets. And he truly is the perfect Republican. He is he's a con man built for this particular iteration of the Republican Party, whatever it is. And honestly, if you look at it, George, Anthony, whatever his name is now, he really is no different than Donald Trump. They're both, except, circumstances. And George doesn't have a trust fund, as far as I know. And but they're the same. They're both con men. They're both grifters. They're both narcissists, sociopaths, and are unabashed liars who will say anything if it benefits them. They're very sick people. And how many times have I said this? All the time. Just take it to the bank. Unlike the fake checks George Santos passed in Brazil and other places, there's no doubt. You could take it to the bank that there is something wrong with every single Republican. I don't know, some different levels, right, of sickness. But if you give me 15 minutes, if I can stand it, with a Republican, and they were completely honest, we would get to the bottom of it. It's something, there's some moral failing, they're fearful, they're ignorant, they've been malinformed somehow, in some level, they are lacking emotionally, spiritually, ethically, they are not capable of functioning in a diverse democracy. It's the truth, because they haven't been encouraged, and in fact, they've been encouraged to remain as sick as they are. And this is the recipe for disaster if we want to have a functioning society. I didn't grab this clip, but because I figured if I did, I would go off on Candace Owens for 5 hours, and I'm not in the mood. But I just saw something with Candace Owens, who is another, a grifter. She's a human shield for Republican bigotry. She's another grifter, though, because she started out doing liberal things, making liberal content, and she did a very quick turn because she realized the money was in conservatism, especially for somebody who has darker pigment. So, like a lot of these right wingers, they're not true believers. They're opportunists. So let me hold on a second. I could probably find it because Candace Owens she was talking about higher education is a waste. She's against it, or anything decent that brings learning and elevates a culture. They're against. She also hates museums. I mean, who could say I'm against museums? But somebody who is a grifter, who believes that, for example, in the Dark Ages, when the peons were toiling in the fields, they didn't have time to go to a museum. What museum would they go to? Education was wasted on the little people, the peons, because they would get their education in heaven. They would get their mansions and everything would be wonderful in heaven. Hold on, I'll be right back. This is Tara Devlin. But, so, she's a grifter. They're all grifters. They want people to be as stupid as possible, so you believe their bullshit. And George Santos is the man for the moment. He is, they're protecting him. That's the other thing. I'm just looking for this particular video because every day, it seems like every hour, more stuff is coming out. For example, the fact that he's changed his name too, and the other thing is they haven't, no one even vetted him. Is he even qualified? Does he meet all the basic standards required to be a representative of the United States? Right? No one knows. So it's. Up until now, it's pretty much been an honor system, but things have to change if you're dealing with people who have no honor. They have no honor. George Santos has no honor. Zero. He has no integrity, and neither do the Republicans. All of them. Kevin McCarthy has no honor. We know this. The entire, everyone, all of the Republicans. I saw the Nassau County Republicans. I watched the entire. We played a clip from it the other day, but I watched their entire press conference, and frankly, it was really refreshing to see and hear some decent Republican cons. I mean, I guess I'll call them Republicans, but I was. It really made me sad for this country because it was such a stark difference to what we're dealing with now. And it's almost like, I guess that's what happens when you're in an abusive relationship, right? You learn to accept things. You just broaden your, the lines that you say you'll never cross or never allow somebody to cross. They just get blurrier and blurrier. But these Nassau County Republicans, I guess, whatever, they were talking about how they, I mean, how they were tricked too, and they took him at face value. That one of his everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. He said he went to Baruch College. Not only did he go to Baruch, he was on their volleyball team, and he was the leader of the volleyball team and led them to the I guess the state championship. So, and apparently that year that he said he graduated, in which he helped them win the championship, they did win the championship. So this is the mark of a good con man. They do a little bit of research, and then they trust that people are going to take you at face value. And who's going to think that somebody is lying about that? But like even today, though, and yes, I think when was it? Wednesday when we did the show, we went through his resume, and every single thing on his resume is a lie. He is, but yet the reason I'm bringing it up again is because on the corporate media, I was watching the corporate media today, as I do, and they were describing him as embellishing his resume. He didn't embellish his resume. He lied. So do you see how this this is what happens here in this country? The grift is continuously enabled by that language. To just say that he embellished his resume, that doesn't seem so harmful. He fabricated his entire resume, everything about it. And in fact, the only work history that is now discovered, the only true job he ever had was for a financial services company that was revealed to be an outright Ponzi scheme. So he was selling shares of this Ponzi scheme, and that's the only thing he ever truly did. So hold on a second, and it just gets worse and worse. He's just a vile, disgusting person. So here's George Santos at and seriously, if you want to talk about people who are sick, this is a clip of George Santos. Let's see, where is it? At the LGBT, I think he's at the LGBTQ center in New York City, because it doesn't say where this took place, but it was in some gay center, and it looks like from myself being in the center, it looks like a room that might have been in the center. It looks a little familiar, but I'm not sure. But this was a meeting of a bunch of self-loathing gay people and trans people, which I don't understand it, who were encouraging other gay people and trans people to walk away from the Democratic Party. And why? Walk away into what? To do what? That whole ridiculous movement called Walk Away? For what reason? How much do you have to hate yourself to walk away from, walk into the arms of people who literally hate your guts, that legislate against you, and not only worse than that, they foment violence against you and your community, and in every turn try to dehumanize you and try to shove you back in the closet and try to erase your entire existence. But walk away. Okay, well, here's and that's what I'm saying. Like, think about, we're talking about people who are sick. These are very sick people.
The haters.
Oh, you gotta be here.
You see, that's why in the beginning of, for those on the who are just listening, it's for self-loathing gay people and trans people. I don't know who they are personally, but apparently they have some clout to be on this panel, like some clout within the self-loathing fascist gay community. But the clip begins with them saying, well, there must be some haters here. Talking about the audience, and I guess meaning that there must be, because it's at the LGBTQ center, there must be normal people in the audience that hate them. And when I first saw this, I thought, well, there must be some haters here. Yeah, there's a lot of haters, and there they are on the stage. Where are the haters? And that's part of their psychopathy. To think, oh, everybody hates them, when they're the ones who are spewing hate. Nobody hates them. We just want them to get the help they need. Hate? Is anybody calling to hang them or kill them, like the Republicans do to Democrats and normal people? Hold on a second. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Right. It's a panel of Eichmanns. Right, here. Okay, so let me play. I'm sorry. I know I cut it off very quickly, but here it is. Where are the haters? But they love that, too, though. See, they wouldn't know what to do without haters. But it's not about the haters to them. It's because they're the victims. They're the professional victims. And if you call them out, you're hating them. I don't hate these people. I just feel like they're just sick to me. They're sick. They're self-loathing. There's something incredibly wrong with them. They're selfish. They're racist. I don't even care. I don't care. Oh, there's a person with darker pigment on the stage. They're racist. It's self-loathing. There's something wrong with you. And knowing a little bit about history and about the history of the Third Reich, there were, it never ceases to amaze me, but it's not surprising that there are, especially in the rise of the Third Reich, there were Jewish people that were just like, yeah, it's never going to touch us, because, they felt like they were, in the higher classes, or they were special somehow. So the hate, well, it would never really get to us. So, and then there were plenty of others too, as we know. There's always some sick members of the community, in any community, willing to sell you out. Just like women, the women who would sell out other women, to get a patriarchal pat on the head. Same thing here. I don't know what it is with them. There's something clearly very wrong with them. Maybe they hate themselves. I mean, if I really think about it, it's maybe it's sort of like, maybe their father was a Republican, right? Think about it. And they, rather than it's like me when I was first coming out and first accepting myself as being gay. I didn't go full gay, I used to say I was bi because I didn't, I thought it would be like more palatable to whoever, but it was really me. I was, I guess because of the society I was living in, it wasn't easy. So, but maybe, for example, their father, who hates gays. They grew up hearing all about how gays suck, gays are going to hell, gays are, abominations or whatnot. And then they're growing up and they realize, oh, well, they are gay. And that's that. But yet, you don't want your family to not love you. So maybe they compromise in themselves somehow. They say, well, I'll be out, I'll be gay, but I'll also be a Republican. So I won't completely escape the the bondage of my father, let's say, so to speak, so that they'll at least maybe he'll like me on that level. And right, it could be in the realm of possibilities, but there's something historical. There's some form of self-loathing. There's something there, but just here we go. No one. I mean, this group attracted the likes of George Santos, who was calling himself a different name.
Or the haters. Oh, you gotta be here.
So my name is Anthony DeVolder. I'm a New York City resident. I recently founded a group called United for Trump. So if you guys want to follow, that would be awesome.
Woo, woo! My name is Anthony DeVolder, and I wonder if that has anything. I guess maybe it's just a unhappy coincidence that it sounds like Anna Navalny. Isn't that grifter, that woman who, but she had her own Netflix show made about her. Anna, yeah, what was her name? Anna Navalny, something like that. Anyway, it sounds like that. What is he? So his name is Anthony DeVolder, and he said he founded a group called something about Trump, which doesn't exist, by the way. If you Google the group he said he founded, it's the only thing that you find is this clip. So it doesn't exist.
You guys want to follow, that would be awesome. My
Awesome.
question's directed for both Blair and Brandon. Well, Brandon's an idol to all of us.
He is? Who is he?
But Blair, I have a question. How do you think that as a trans woman and a conservative, you
Incredible.
can help educate other trans people
For what?
from not having to follow the narrative that the media and the Democrats put forward? And how can Brandon incorporate that
What?
into Walkaway in more in depth?
What? See, that's the
my
other thing.
Approach has
What is he talking about, too? Yeah. How can we incorporate or convince other trans people of what? What are you convincing them of? To hate themselves? They're working hard to live authentic lives, not hate themselves. Why would they join this Nazi death cult? Sounds like 1 step forward, 3 steps forward, 5 steps back.
In more in depth. That's my question.
my approach has always been
Anthony.
to just live my life authentically, make the videos I want to make, and I don't like using the word educate because I feel like who am I to teach anyone anything? I just want to be myself, and I feel like that actually does work wonders. I think that I know that I'm inundated with comments all the time saying I've been a conservative Republican my whole life. I have been so turned off by the view of trans people in the media and the activists that have sometimes a larger platform than people like you. And my channel kind of like
Wow.
gives them
I
a
can't
different
even
side.
imagine
So
what
for
this
me,
person's
that's my
channel
form
is
of
like.
activism, if you can call it that. And was there a second part to your question?
Was how to transgenderism?
You can have me at more events.
Well, yeah, done. Where are the haters?
What? Where are the haters? Let's get back to the haters.
My question's directed for both Blair and Brandon. Well, Brandon's an idol
Brandon.
to all of us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But Blair, I have a question. How do you think that as a trans woman and a conservative,
Whatever.
you can...
Where's the other thing I wanted to play? He's just this George Santos character is just the scum of the earth. Here is George Santos during his first run for office, where he didn't win, and we played the clip of him on January 5th saying that he did win and it was stolen from him, like Trump.
There's no such thing as police brutality.
He's
I
a dirtbag,
think the
this
bar
guy.
is set super low. Don't break the law. Stay out of trouble.
Yeah,
You
don't
don't
break
even
the
have
law.
to be in touch with the police. So
You see, these people have such balls. I don't know how they walk, really. It's like they should hop everywhere, like hoppity hops. The balls. But it's part of the Republicon grift. It's either a confession or it's a projection. Don't break the law. Don't break the law. Yeah, it says George Santos, who hasn't, said a true thing since he got to Congress. And before, for years. He's been hounded. We read the stories about it wasn't just his sister being evicted. He himself has numerous cases in the court of him being sued by landlords for back rent. He's a goddamn parasite. So no wonder I guess he thinks. See, this is the thing. He continues to say he's not going to resign, and the Republicans in his district are saying they're not going to work with him, and they're encouraging the constituents of George, whatever his name is, of Santos's district to that they will be directed to other representatives if they need constituent services. And he hasn't even set up the office in Queens, and it still remains vacant. So, but this is he is the man for the moment. He is the perfect Republican. He went on not Kevin McCarthy. He went on, George Santos went on, what's his name? Steve Bannon's show today, which was because Steve Bannon was in court, because he's facing charges for stealing from dumbasses, from the dumbass Republican dupes who sent him money for building the fake wall, right? So that's why Steve Bannon's in court. Matt Gaetz is filling in for Steve Bannon while he's in court. You know, it's I'm sure just a witch hunt, as always. Everybody's picking on them. If people just leave them alone and let them steal in peace, everything would be great. But so George Santos goes on, where the hell is it? On this fascist podcast to reiterate that he's not going to resign. Hold on a second. All right, where is it? George Santos. I have so many George Santos's clips here. That's why I'm like George Santos. Oh, here we go. Matt Gaetz.
I know about this town, they come for the fighters.
Unreal.
And they are coming for George Santos like nothing I've seen in quite some time.
Can you believe this shit? That's why he's the perfect Republican. You see, the saying, for the only way evil triumphs is when good people do nothing. Evil is running rampant in the halls of power right now because there are no good Republicans, and they will do nothing. So I can't even believe that they're attempting to frame George Santos as the victim. He's a victim. They're coming to get him because he's a fighter. It's stunning to me. They have zero integrity. The entire Republican Party now, and except for those few in Nassau County, who the reason they're saying that they won't work with George Santos and they want him to resign, the Nassau County Republicans, because they don't want to be tied to this guy. But he is them. They allowed him to, they knew, and we'll read some of the articles. They did a background check on him, just a cursory check, nothing in depth, and they apparently encouraged him to resign, and he didn't, and he wouldn't, and they just kind of went on about their business, hoping nobody would catch them. But the formula is what is in full effect. The Republican formula. Just accuse your opponent of lying. Tell everybody you're under attack, right? I mean, it's right out of the Nazi playbook. Cry victim. and say it's a witch hunt, and you're fighting. You're fighting for what? Who are you fighting for? You're wanted in Brazil. You're fighting for what? You're a grifter, a liar who hasn't worked a day in his life. You're sick. This person, not only does he need to be in prison, he needs to be in a treatment facility. He's mentally ill. And that's why I mean all Republicans, they have some form of mental illness. Here, let's continue.
I could ask you what it's like to be an embattled congressman, but I kind of know a little bit about that scene. George, you've heard just there Congressman D'Esposito, your Republican colleague, calling for you to resign. Nick Langworthy also has your reaction.
You know, Matt, it's their prerogative. I came here to serve the people, not politicians and party leaders, and I'm going to do just that. And I've been doing just that throughout this entire first 2 weeks, whether it was voting for the speaker or whether it's been the last week where we've been working on legislation in my office. So, you know, I wish well all of their opinions, but I was elected by 142,000 people. Until those same 142,000 people tell me they don't want me, we'll find out in 2 years.
What do those 142,000 people deserve in a representative?
They deserve somebody who's going to come here and fight and not get involved with the media nonsense that we're seeing take place, right? Look, a lot of people are saying that I am unable to govern, I'm unable to deliver. But in the meantime, my office and my staff, we've been able to jump on co-sponsoring legislation such as term limits, which you spoke about earlier. You know, there's not a lot of people running to jump on this, specifically the ones criticizing me. They want to stay here forever. I don't want to stay here forever. I want to come here, do the best I can with the time I have, and deliver for the American people. And that's going to be through fighting crime, inflation, and whatnot. That's what they elected me to do, and that's what I'm going to give them.
You have admitted embellishing your resume. You've acknowledged it. You've apologized for it. Some have said that you shouldn't be seated on committees for it. I would offer that if we didn't seat people on committees who embellish their resume running for Congress, we probably wouldn't be able to make a quorum in any of those.
How dare you? You see how they so cheapen this government that so many died for? Not, you know, none of them, of course. They would not die. I mean, no, they don't even sacrifice. They wouldn't sacrifice lunch, right? And yes, I see you guys talking about the Jesus iconography behind Matt Gaetz. This is Steve Bannon's set, apparently. And he also has a in another shot you'll be able to see it. There's like a quote from himself, from Steve Bannon. Oh, fuck. You know, there's something going on. It happened again. There's something, my friggin' air conditioner, because it gets very hot in here. It just keeps going off. And, I mean, it's like the circuit keeps dying. I don't know why. In all my years living in this apartment, this has never happened, and now it keeps happening. So, I don't know what's happening. So, I hope it doesn't get hot in here. It's getting hot in here. If that's what I'm just saying, because the friggin' light just went out too. So.
Committees. Do you now have a sense of the committees you want to serve on, the type of work you want to do?
I came to D.C. without really any preconceived notions of what committees to serve, but what I can give to the American people. Whatever committee I'm giving, whether it's, I don't know, science and technology or education and labor or whatever committee is thrown my way, I will deliver 110% because that's what I know how to do. I'm going to outwork any of the pundits and talking heads that are out there saying that I should resign, that I'm unfit for office. The reality is
that I pass bad checks in Brazil, I'm wanted in Brazil, that I'm a grifter, that I haven't had a legal job in my entire life, that I don't pay taxes, that I don't pay rent. You know, embellishing. Who hasn't? Who among us hasn't passed a bad check? He does know who he's talking to. That's the thing. He knows he's talking to Republicans. And yes, they've all embellished their resumes because we've gone through it here on the show. How much they're full of shit. Everything about them they fabricate because they are inadequate and they know it. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene, her whole businesswoman shtick. The same thing for Lauren Bann from the bowling alley Bolbert. They're not business people. friggin' Donald Trump. He sucks at business. Everything he touches dies. So, of course, they're fine with people embellishing their resume. This is not an embellishment. He is a fabrication. And the people of his district didn't vote for him. They voted for a guy who worked at Goldman Sachs. They voted for a guy who went to Baruch College and managed billions and billions and billions of dollars in some, not in a Ponzi scheme. That's who they voted for. They voted for somebody who worked at Citibank. They didn't vote for this guy. They didn't vote for some filthy grifter. Right? So get out. But you can't shame somebody who is shameless. You can't convince somebody to do the right thing if they wouldn't know it if it bit them on their ass. And rinse, repeat with the victimitis, the professional victimitis. They're coming to get us. Oh, they're not coming to get me. They're coming to get you. I'm working for you. They're not they're doing it to me, but they're really doing it to you. The balls on these people. It's so insulting. But that's who they are. I mean, same thing with Matt Gaetz. What the hell has he ever done? His daddy was a powerful politician in Florida. He's a little rich kid. And famous or infamous or however for being dragged out of bars in Florida screaming, "Don't you know who my father is?" So that's who they are. Of course he's embellished. Everything is an embellishment to them. It's a lie. Everything they say is a lie. Just setting up this interview as he's under attack from the swamp. The swamp is attacking the poor put upon grifter. It's incredible. And you know what? If you are a Republican and you vote for these people, shame on you. That's where we have to go. Shame on you. You're part of the problem. You enabled this. And because why? You're a dupe? You're a self-loathing something? You hate brown people? You've been convinced that a caravan's coming to get you? You do us all a favor and turn off Fox News. Turn off Steve Bannon's Swill podcast. I don't understand how stupid are people? When Steve Bannon is in court today because he was caught, he was put under arrest for stealing from the stupid Republicans over a fake wall that they made up and made up a fake PAC for. Same thing with Trump. So I don't understand how you excuse that and then continue to listen to the likes of Steve Bannon. It's fascinating to me. The level of self-loathing must also be exacerbated by the level of just fear and loathing of anyone who isn't you. I guess it's something that must fuel them somehow. And the Jesus iconography in the background of this fucking grifter is, it's really insulting. But also that would be something that is a red flag for anyone who's not a moron. Don't you see how you're being played? Average dupes. Don't you see that? What is it? Why don't you get help? Go get the help you need. Go talk to a therapist. Figure out why you have so much hate. Why are you so easily led by these people who steal, they would sell out their own mothers just to get their hooks in your wallet. And worse than that, they have their filthy hooks in that Swiss cheese mind of yours. Filling up those holes with all kinds of nonsense. What is wrong with you? Do you think so Steve Bannon's in court today because he's being picked on? He's not guilty? You don't think he's guilty? He had to be pardoned. Why was he pardoned? You don't get pardoned from things you're not guilty of. He was on a boat with some, they're always about China. He was on a boat with some Chinese billionaire hiding out when the feds got him. Yeah, the feds, who you hate now, of course, because whenever the long arm of the law catches up to you, your grifter Führers, you'll sell your own mothers if they told you to. Jesus Christ. And that's who Steve Bannon was with. He was on some yacht laughing at you, laughing at the idiots. Because they didn't even have to set up a fake PAC. It's the same thing that Trump did. Took money from you stupids. And he didn't even bother to set up the scam PAC. They just went right in his pocket. All that Socialist Security money. Thank you. Yeah, that you don't even have the manners or maturity to say thank you, liberals, for. Like George Santos, who was happy to take all the relief offered from liberals, that liberals fought for, that Democrats passed here in New York. They're happy to take it so he can squat in landlords' properties while railing against other people who are using it legitimately, using the benefits legitimately, not stashing them away or using them to fund their own sham run for office. That's what they did. Him and his grifter sister. Parasites. Okay. But they're coming for George Santos. He's a victim. You people really buy that? Do you really buy that? I would love to interview one of you. Send me a tweet at Real Tara Devlin on Twitter. I'd love to interview you, and I'd love to hear how you believe them. I really want to know why. Maybe we could do an impromptu therapy session for you, because I've had a lot of therapy, so I'm good at giving therapeutic advice.
Being is, I'm a workhorse. I've worked my whole life. I'm the kid who came from a basement apartment.
You weren't supposed to win.
You piece of waste of human life, waste of air, waste of human DNA.
I was not supposed to win this seat.
I mean, this was a seat that a lot of folks looked at and said, definitely going Democrat. Republicans, gosh, Santos ran last time. We'll send him to run this time. And you surprised a lot of people.
All the people calling me to resign, I beat them by double their margins.
Bullshit. But okay.
Because I outworked every single one of them.
Just pull numbers out of your ass. That's all that Republicans do. You're allowed, right? Just keep saying shit. And who will check? Well, that's the skill of a con man. You got to give him credit, though. He is a very devious and skilled con man. He really is. He's quick on his feet with the lies. And they come fast and furious. It's like Trump. It's the fire hose of lies that you don't know how to respond. You're like, okay, I guess it's true.
embellishing one's resume isn't a crime. It's frankly how a lot of people get to Congress. And
you
we
do.
want
I mean,
everyone
Republicans do, and like I said, it's not an embellishment. He did not embellish. He fabricated his entire history. So, okay. You see how Republicans are, how they minimize. The decent people are vilified and outright criminals are elevated. That's who they are. And if you're a Republican, shame on you. Shame, shame, shame. You're a disgrace.
Honest, and again, you've acknowledged that, and you're working for it going forward. One of the principal critiques I've heard is that
acknowledging that's what he said, you're honest, acknowledging that you embellished. He didn't embellish. Like I said, he lied. He outright fabricated a fantasy. And the only thing he did that was real was he got people hooked into a Ponzi scheme. Another con.
a lot of money was donated to your campaign by you, $700,000, I believe. Where did it come from?
Well, I'll tell you where it didn't come from. It didn't come from China, Ukraine, or Burisma. How about that?
How about that? Well, that's a good, clever response. Where did it come from? Well, I'll tell you, it didn't come from, Hunter Biden's laptop. Answer the question, liar. None of this would be necessary. We don't need a subpoena if you just tell us. Where did you get $750,000 from? Where'd it come from? I know you're a national security risk. Do you believe this shit? Kevin McCarthy, the dirtbag, the Speaker of the Clowns, is kicking Democrats off their committees because of revenge. And we'll get to that too. But he's putting this fucking dirtbag, George Santos, on committees, which means he will get security clearance. Apparently, if you're a member of Congress, all you do is you don't have to go through an entire security clearance like I had to go through when I was in the National Guard, where they do an actual security clearance, where they go through your life with a fine-tooth comb. And you just sign something, and then you have clearance. So we're going to give this guy security clearance?
That is an answer. I mean, I also put money into my campaign when I ran. I had to sell some of the property that I acquired in my life.
You see? It didn't come from Hunter Biden's laptop. It didn't come from Burisma. It didn't come from whatever buzzwords I got. And, that is an answer. Well, that is an answer.
To fund something that I really believed in. And, when I was raising money for different charities, I always tried to put my own money in first. And so, when you donated that money to your campaign, is there anything else you can say about the work you did that was the origin of those resources?
Look, I've worked my entire life. I've lived an honest life. I've never been accused, sued of any bad doing. So,
oh, yes, you have. What happened in Brazil? And there's another article that came out tonight in the Brazilian equivalent of the New York Times, where a woman said that she traveled with this con man, George Santos, and I'm not sure if he was going by that name at the time, traveled with him to the United States in 2011, and he drained her bank account. Incredible. Hold on. We'll be right back. This is Tara Devlin. All right. We're back. This is Tara Devlin, Unapologetic Liberal Talk. If you're on any other platform, come on over to youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster to join the chat room and hang out with the greatest people in American history, in the greatest chat room in American history. Yes, Anthony DeVolder We're listening to Anthony George Santos DeVolder, whatever the hell his name is, make excuses on this Steve Bannon Grifter's podcast. Well, the grifter was in court answering for his crimes. I don't know what happened, but he was also had to go in front of the people of the United States and explain why he was stealing from people dumb enough to give him money. But okay. In the meantime, another con man, George Santos, came on to, I guess make excuses. But to me, I don't understand how anybody supports him. That's what I would really like to dissect. If somebody would want to, if they admit it, that they believe George Santos, I'd like, I guess suckers are born every minute. Trumpanzees are living proof. So.
It's the equity of my hard-working self, and I've invested inside of me. Like I said, didn't come from.
So the $750,000 is the equity of his hard-working self that came from within him. That's what he said. And it didn't come from Burisma. I guess it took him a minute to come up with that excuse, and he's not letting go of it. It didn't come from Burisma. He's a fascist. He's a con man. And he is a voracious consumer, I'm sure, of other fascist podcasts and whatnot. So that's what con men do. They mimic. They learn how to speak the language of the dupes that they're trying to sucker. So I suppose his deflection... I guess he thought that was pretty good. That was good enough. It won't be good enough for the campaign finance review. I think he's been, what is it? He's under different audits now, apparently, being investigated. I'm not sure if the word is audit, but they're investigating these dodgy contributions.
Of any bad doing. So, it's the equity of my hard-working self, and I've invested inside of me. Like I said, didn't come from Burisma. It didn't come from Ukraine, Russia, China, unlike some folks that we all know that get money from those sources.
Really? Inside the Beltway of Washington, there's
but where did it come from? Did it come from your ass? Did you lose a tooth and then it was under your pillow in the morning? Where did it come from? He's a crook, so I don't worry, guys. It will be revealed, and hopefully he will end up in jail, where he belongs.
A media tornado, and there are moments where you think all people are worried about is like, what's the new big thing in Washington? But I'm wondering, like, when you hear from constituents back home, what are their challenges? What are the things that are concerning the people who need a strong representative for them in Congress?
A strong representative. You see this shit? I don't understand how anybody buys it. And there you go. It's an example of Republican shamelessness. Matt Gaetz. They would sell their mothers. They would make excuses for anybody. There's no standards. There's no low for them. There's no bottom.
Fielding calls in the office already. People are asking for as simple as White House tour tickets, which we've already engaged with the White House liaison.
Bullshit.
We are requesting passport issues, and then all the way to an issue that's very near and dear in my community, which is we have an organized crime that's taking car jackings and thefts to a whole new level in my district, which is plaguing a very specific wealthy.
You see, he's of course he's full of shit. Now he's Batman fighting crime in the 3rd district.
my district, Old Westbury, Brookville, Upper Brookville, and it's an interstate faction of folks who they steal the cars from my district, take them all the way to New Jersey and Elizabeth to the ports, put them on ships, and send them overseas.
Sure,
right?
We
It's
can't.
MS-13 principally doing this, right?
It's actually not. In this case, it's not MSN-13. It's been identified that they're a Chilean gang. The police commissioner is rendered useless the moment they cross into New York City. The police commissioner of New York City is rendered useless the moment they cross over to the George Washington Bridge into Jersey. So it's like really an FBI requirement to get involved in this because of the multi-jurisdictions that it covers.
Really
but nobody's doing anything about it. And I'm here trying to figure out a way to get this solved. The amount of constituents of mine that are plagued by this issue, whether they're coming home from a restaurant and being followed.
Help us, George Santos. Help us. We just need you. You're the only guy who could help us. Thank God. What a legend in his own mind. Now he's fighting mobsters in this crime ring, this interstate carjacking ring. What will we do without you, George? And people just want to be safe.
And point at their driveway, whether this is a real issue in the 3rd Congressional District, and nobody wants to talk about it. Local leadership is too worried.
Thank you for reiterating it's a real issue, not one of the bullshit issues and everything else that comes out of your mouth.
About getting reelected so that they can keep the power grab on the taxpayer dollar jobs.
There's another confession. He's not gonna leave. He said, "Oh well, they get to vote for me again or not in 2 years." So, what he's saying is that, everybody wants him out because they want to steal from you, not me. I stole everything else from you. I stole your decency, your dignity. I make a mockery of everything. I make a mockery of you. I make a mockery of the country. I am a stain on the office I now squat in. But it's them. Everybody else wants to steal from you, not me. Trust me, the guy with the entirely fabricated history, the one who doesn't pay his rent, the one who is wanted in Brazil for passing bad checks. The guy who sold how many dum-dums into a Ponzi scheme.
I'm here actually trying to fight for the local people. The absurdity of saying that George Santos we're going to redirect the constituents' requests to another members of Congress's office instead of mine, that's absurd and it's illegal.
Absurd?
I'm here to serve any member of...
Bullshit. See, that's the other thing that Republicans like to do. They like to cry, it's illegal, it's unconstitutional. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That's absurd and it's illegal. Is it illegal for other representatives to say, no, don't talk to this fucking con man because he'll pee on your leg and tell you it's raining? We will help you with constituent services. That's illegal? Well, somebody get out, go to the cops, George. Go to the police. Say, I want to report a crime in progress. They're stealing my what? My constituents that I lied to? Oh, God help us. All right. Hold on a second. We'll be right back. Unapologetic liberal talk. All right, we'll just finish this up with George Santos and Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz running cover for Santos on Steve Bannon's podcast while Steve Bannon is in court trying to explain why he stole from a bunch of assholes who gave him money to build a fake wall.
Local government that wants to say they're not going to work with my office, you're doing a disservice to the American people, to the taxpayer. I'm here willing, ready, and able to work, and I will work for the American people in the district.
Well, if people don't have physical security, it's hard to get almost anything else done. And it's one of the reasons why a lot of New Yorkers are coming to the Sunshine State. Are you concerned about New York depopulating because people don't feel safe?
That's another big talking point. We hear this a lot, too, but fuck off. You think this is something new? Old people go to Florida. They retire in Florida. oh, it's according to Matt Gaetz and all the right wingers, New York is depopulating because it's just too much. Go. I think New York will be fine.
My district during the 2020 coronavirus shutdowns, and then during this plague of people just running away from the Hochul situation over there. So
yeah,
it's
the
just
Hochul situation, whatever that means. You say we just throw shit out there. Yeah, they're just fleeing because of this whole Hochul thing. Whatever. Yeah. What Hochul thing? You got any examples? Yeah, the whole Hochul thing. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, sucks.
absolutely crazy.
The Democrats.
Sucks. It's crazy. Yeah. Everybody's fleeing. It's incredible. But then people are getting hounded. They're getting carjacked up the wazoo. I'm just trying to work here, right? I'm just trying to do the best for the American people. Why don't they leave me alone? Why don't these American people understand that I'm here to help? If I wasn't here, they would be carjacked. You know? How could you... who cares about... embellishing? Right? If you're carjacked, nobody cares. If you're carjacked, you know, what does it matter? You said I brought the Baruch volleyball team to their champion season, and I wasn't even enrolled in the school. Who cares? If I sold shares in a Ponzi scheme, whatever. You're not thinking about that when you look in your mirror and you see MS-13 behind you. And I'm the only thing standing in between you and death. That's the way it is. That's the Republican way, right? They got nothing. They got nothing to offer. They fearmonger, lie, and grift. Steal your dignity, steal your sanity, steal your serenity, steal your socialist security. Oh, God.
Not stand that Republicans did so well in New York.
Yeah.
They really can't.
Yes.
And
who could?
As we evaluate this, you have to wonder whether or not these other Republicans are just the next ones. You know, they come for you, and then they're going to come. Isn't the New York Times going to come for?
Well, we will come for you if you fabricate your resume, you know, and if you are a grifter and pass bad checks and don't pay your rent and pretend you're some big financier when you haven't had a legitimate job in your entire life, you know, and then that's when we'll come for you. I know how unfair that must sound for Republicans who just want to steal in peace. Why can't they just steal in peace? Why can't they just take a shit in the Capitol? Why can't they just rig elections and overthrow elections when they don't win in peace? Everybody just picks on them. And what a witch hunt. The witch hunt just keeps witching, witch. I don't know which way this witch hunt is going. But it's always picking on them for just being what? Being awesome, being just following the American dream, which is not working a day in your life, falling ass backwards into somebody else's money. And nobody ever asking why, where'd you get it from? Are you a traitor? Where'd you get $750,000? You fucking weasel traitor. It's not a trick question. And we will find out. And God damn it, I hope it's soon. I'm so sick of these Republicans getting away with their crimes. It's right out in the open now. And you know, Republicans, they have no morals. They have no ethics. They have no dignity. They have no decency. It's all about politics to them. That's why they say everything is about politics when we're trying to just have a system that works for everybody. You know, the laws for everybody. I know how fucking ridiculous that sounds nowadays. But nothing says the Republican Party more than the way that they're approaching this Biden, what do you call it? The classified documents, as opposed to Trump's classified documents, right? That he stole. And it is unfortunate that Biden has classified documents for the very fact that we got to hear about it from these fucking hypocritical Republicans nonstop. It is. There should be, he should have been better. It should not have happened. And if there have to be consequences, there should be. But what's good for the tax cheating, draft dodging, wannabe dictator con man with the fake university and the vitamin scam is good for the former vice president, now president, who maybe did something wrong by accident. The only thing, the difference is, and there are many differences. Trump stole these documents, and Biden self-reported. I'm not saying he should have had them. Of course not. They should have been secured. But once they were found, they were reported, and he's fully cooperating fully. He's not moving them into low-rent storage facilities or trying to lie about them. There's a big difference between 12 documents and 160 that were deliberately taken. And nothing says Republicans are disgusting more than the way that... Here, let me play this. This was from CNN.
Brings us to a very unique moment.
It compares the way the Democrats and the Republicans handle both first Trump, what they say about Trump, then his classified documents, stealing the classified documents, and then what they said about Biden. And then you have the Democrats. So here, it says everything about the two parties.
In American history, with special counsels looking into both the sitting president and his immediate predecessor at the same time for similar matters. While Republicans are now pouncing on Biden, some went out of their way to downplay Trump's potential mishandling of classified records.
What I've seen that the National Archives was concerned about Trump having in his possession didn't amount to a hill of beans.
I don't know what documents were at Mar-a-Lago.
Is it fair to say that investigation won't be a priority?
That will not be a priority.
That's James Comer, for those who are on the audio alone. So one is, I don't see anything. No, nothing to see here. The other thing is, lock them up.
Very concerning. I mean, this is now the second location that the president was in possession of classified documents. Look, what's the vice president doing with classified documents?
This is so outrageous.
This is Mike Turner of Ohio.
This has to rise to the level of this better not be a clerical issue between the archivist and the former president. I've been in the Oval Office with the president. I'd be very surprised if he has actual documents that rise to the level of immediate national security threat.
See, what a difference. What a difference.
These facts and circumstances are just absolutely outrageous. I mean, this is completely...
One is, I'd be really surprised if this is anything but a nothing burger. And then it's absolutely outrageous.
Handling of classified information. Why did he have these documents? When did he get them? Did he get them?
I wish we knew anything about Trump. Why? Why did he have them? Where are they? Where are the ones that are empty? There are folders there that are empty. Where? What did he do with them? Why? Why did he move them? Why wouldn't he return them? How many times did he have to be asked until they served him a legal subpoena? Hold on, we'll be right back. Can't take it. All right.
He was vice president and then take them with him when he left?
Are you going to hold hearings?
It is possible that we will hold hearings on them.
If they try to prosecute President Trump for mishandling classified information after Hillary Clinton set up a server in her basement, they literally will be riots in the street. I worry about our country.
If there's not a special counsel appointed to find out how this happened with President Biden regarding classified information, there is going to be a lot of it will hurt the country.
Oh, boy, Miss Lindsay, where's your fainting couch? Somebody get the smelling salts.
Republicans, and now I look at what Democrats said then and now.
See, here's the
fact that they were in an unsecure place that is guarded with nothing more than a padlock or whatever security they had at a hotel is deeply alarming.
I think it's a concern whenever classified documents are somewhere they shouldn't be, but we see no evidence of deliberate intent.
See, he says they're where they shouldn't be. You know, no one's excusing it.
Or obstruction of justice, as we see in the case of Donald Trump and Mar-a-Lago.
If I take documents out of that facility, I have committed a felony. And if a president takes them out of a facility, he too has broken the law.
Classified information needs to stay in secure spaces. So we'll wait to see the facts. But, classified information needs to be in secure spaces.
See? There's none of this, there will be blood in the streets if anybody does anything about this nothing burger. They're saying it's concerning. We need to know. We need to find out. And there should be, there should be some kind of accountability. If we find out, there was mishandling of documents, there has to be a review to see if there were any damage was done, and but you don't hear the Democrats completely dismissing it like the Republicans.
Is likely criminal what has happened at Mar-a-Lago, and you have to wonder why was he hiding these documents even when they were requested. But you also have to wonder with someone who you cannot trust like Donald Trump, what else is there? Of course I'm concerned. I think the president is concerned. That is obviously unintentional and outside of the requirements of our intelligence laws. Classified information must remain in secured compartments, but cooperation is coming from the Biden administration and the president's lawyers, and there was zero cooperation from Donald Trump, who tried to do everything possible not to cooperate.
And there you go. And that's the difference. So, and that's the difference in a nutshell. If George Santos was a Democrat, first of all, he wouldn't get to this point. There is no way. If they did a background check on him, like apparently the Republicans did a cursory background check, and they found some red flags and encouraged him to drop out of the race, and he refused to do it. The Democrats would not back a George Santos. It would have been over. There is no doubt in my mind. Here's something that just came out. Let me see if I could. I don't speak Spanish or Portuguese, whatever this is. Let's see. But from a website that is considered the New York Times of Brazil. So I did the Google Translate, so we'll see. I just want to say what it says. It says, George Santos' testimonials raise suspicions about Brazilian who invented a success story to become elected in the United States. So that's how Google translated it. Every day, more people appear to be saying that they were deceived by George Santos, not only in the United States, but also in Brazil. We spoke to people who lived with the Brazilian accused of lying. They talk about him. What does it say? They talk about his personality. Fantastico, that's the name of the publication. located more people who say they were deceived by George Santos. George came out of nowhere in American politics. In 2020, he managed to run for federal deputy for the Republican Party, but was not elected. Last year, I think they're talking about, the 2020 race. With the backing of the scumbag con man who received fewer votes, he defeated Democrat Robert Zimmerman. All right. Let's get to the point here. Every day there are more people appearing to say that they were deceived by George, not only in the United States, but in Brazil, like housewife Adriana Damasceno, who says she met George at a bingo in which he and his mother frequented. She also says that they became friends and that George had access to her assets, which goes to show you. I mean, I don't know how that happened, but he's a good con man. He's a grifter. That's what they do. In 2011, they went to the United States together. According to Adriana, George used her name to go shopping and withdrew all the money she had in the bank and even pawned her jewelry. What a piece of dirt. I just want someone to stop him. He won't stop. Anthony is a dangerous person. When he is cornered, he goes over anyone and he won't stop. That's pretty much the article. What's it say? I read that. During the entire week, Fantastico tried to speak with George Santos and his lawyer, but no one responded. Yeah. That's who Republicans are putting on committees while taking off Democrats, like Eric Swalwell is being pulled off committees. Oh, is it Eric? No, who is it? Yes, I think it is, actually. Yes. And, of course, Ilhan Omar, whose mistake is that she is female and Muslim and a target for Republican, just Republicans. I don't know why my camera got so yellow, but it happens. Everything's messing up tonight. Circuits are breaking. And so here's Kevin McCarthy defending George Santos and also explaining why he's taking people off of committees. This is why this is why it came up, because people are asking him about George Santos.
He's got a long way to go to earn trust. But the one thing I do know is you apply the Constitution equal to all Americans. The voters of his district have elected him. He is seated. He is part of the Republican conference.
Isn't he noble, this Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker of the Clowns? Isn't he such a the Constitution applies to everyone. Well, thank God for that, right, Kevin? Because, you got the House of Clowns. The House of Grifters.
There are concerns with it, so he will go before ethics.
Will
if
he?
anything is found to be wrong, he will be held.
If anything is found. We haven't decided yet. We don't know. Usually you don't lie about your entire resume, but okay. We don't know if he's even qualified to serve, if he meets the minimal requirements, like being a United States citizen for 7 years. That's what the requirement for Congress is. But we don't even know that. He may not even be a citizen. We don't know if George Santos is his actual name.
Accountable exactly as anybody else in this body would be. That is the fair way to handle anything you go, and that's how I'll deal with any single issue that ever comes forward.
That you are so fair. And here, this is the other clip I meant to play of him. See, Kevin McCarthy is a spineless, lickspittle, and he would sell his own mother, of course, and now he's Speaker of the Clowns. So he's retaliating and pulling Democrats off committees, and he's lying about it. And that's stirring up the mouth-breathing domestic terrorist Republican base. And they are, of course, and this is what Republicans want. They want more violence. I guess if someone tries to kill Eric Swalwell, you know, they'll have another Halloween costume. Or, you know, a choice. What? Is this the end of the Progressive Voices part of the show? Guys, listen to the rest of the show at youtube.com/channel/Tarabuster. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Check out APS Radio News. Support the supporters of Tarabuster at APS Radio News, and we will win. We're on the right side of history. That's right. Do not be apologetic, because we're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We stick together, we win. My name is Tara Devlin, and I will see you soon. All right, not bad, not bad. All right, here's Kevin McCarthy talking about Eric Swalwell.
Why?
Oh, because he was asked about pulling people off of committees.
I was very clear early on. Let me phrase something very direct.
Unreal.
If you got the briefing I got from the FBI,
are you kidding
you wouldn't
me?
have Swalwell on any committee.
Do you
You're
hear
going to tell
this
me other
shit?
Democrats couldn't fill that slot? He cannot get a security clearance in the private sector.
Bullshit.
So would you like to give him a government clearance? You asked me questions about Santos. You asked the questions about Swalwell. Not only was he getting a clearance, he was inside an intel committee.
Unreal.
He had more information than the majority of all the members.
How dare you?
Did you ever raise that issue? No. But you should have. You're going to tell me there's 200 other Democrats that couldn't fill that slot, but they kept him on it? The only way that they even knew it came forward is when they went to nominate him to the Intel Committee. And then the FBI came and told the leadership then, he's got a problem.
He's got a problem.
And they kept him on.
You
That
son
jeopardized
of a
all of it.
bitch.
Adam Schiff openly lied to the American public. He told you he had proof.
He had proof. You see, now he's saying that everyone he's targeting, that Adam Schiff's, that who prosecuted the first case of impeachment against Trump when he used taxpayer money to try to strong arm Ukraine into announcing an investigation on his political rival, that was fabricated, right? This is gaslighting. And Kevin McCarthy, we know, is an unethical, spineless worm. He's talking about security clearance. Trump couldn't pass a security clearance. And what they're talking about, well, they keep it. This is why Republicans are a lost cause. And if you vote Republican, shame on you. Because it doesn't matter how many times we explain the truth to them, because Eric Swalwell, there was someone who was exposed as a spy that got close to Eric Swalwell's campaign or whatever, and he was told by the FBI, and they dealt with it, and that's what happened, and he cooperated. And I could go right now and Google all of the spies they found at Mara Moron. Imagine the ones they don't find. That place is a spy magnet. There's no doubt. How about all of the Republicans who take Russian money and sleep with Maria Butina? You see what he's doing? There's no party that is infested with spies more than the Republican Party. Not only that, they're talking about Eric Swalwell, who, it's par for the course. You're going to be a target of foreign espionage. They're going to try to get to you. And the point is, she was caught. And it doesn't matter how many times the FBI explains it to these filthy fascists. They keep repeating it. And they keep spreading the lies. And now he's saying that the impeachment was a lie, when it was the most bipartisan impeachment in American history. And we all know it wasn't a lie. Except that Republicans like Kevin McCarthy don't give a shit. If he could become Speaker of the Clowns with the help of Putin himself, he would fucking do it. And he has done it. How many times do we have to, does it have to be revealed I just saw another article about more Russians funneling money to Trump's campaign. All of them they're all a bunch of dupes being compromised. Hell, let's just do, Maria Butina. Maria, an actual spy. How many, I bet you there's a picture of her with Kevin McCarthy. Let's see. Maria Butina. Well, I don't have it. She used to make the rounds at all the Republican events and hang out, palling around. Those are the Republicans, palling around with spies, bringing them in their homes, bringing them in their beds, honeypot, targets, easy targets, because that's the only reason Republicans get into office. They get into office, not for public service, but to get a couple of honeypots now and then. Why would you be in public service if you can't, bang some honeypot? Unbelievable. We got pictures of Maria Butina with all of these Republicans. Donald Trump Jr., Bobby Jindal. There's another picture. Yeah. Jesus Christ. But anyway.
Told you he didn't know the whistleblower. He put America for 4 years through an impeachment.
And what is he fucking talking about? He didn't know the whistleblower?
He put America for 4 years through an impeachment that he knew was a lie.
Bullshit. Do you hear this shit? No, what? It's infuriating. I can't handle it. An impeachment he knew was a lie. The impeachment wasn't a lie. So now Kevin is lying about the impeachment he knows was not a lie. And he gets to stand there. And what about the crack media? What are they doing? Why aren't they saying what? How could you lie like that? Because probably everybody's stunned. And this is what the problem with fascism is. That's why you have to crush fascism legally and peacefully and without apology. Because it constantly wants the decent, democratic-loving patriots of the country to be back on their heels. It wants to throw you off balance. And so you're like, what? Did he just say that? What is he talking about? Because he knows that 1/3 of the country, that 35% of traitors, they're the ones that are going to be activated no matter what, and it's going to get out there. And if no one pushes back, all the people here is, the impeachment was a lie. And you realize what he's doing? Like, he's doing this for Donald Trump. He's lying for Donald effing Trump. Someone he knows is an outright traitor to the United States, a con man, a dirtbag, someone who has no business being anywhere near the halls of power, and he knows it. He's lying to cover the ass of Donald Trump, who used taxpayer money to try to bribe or strong arm a foreign leader. I mean, if nothing is impeachable, I mean, if that's not impeachable, what the hell isn't or is? And then he fomented an insurrection. I guess that's a lie. I just can't even take it. He put the country through an impeachment for 4 years that he knew was a lie. How dare you? I haven't heard a word on corporate media about this, pushing back on this, because it just never stops, you see. There's so many other lies, but I guess they have to beat the Joe Biden both sides to death, too. Why don't you do a 50-minute expose on this filthy 15 minutes that Kevin McCarthy had the balls to stand up there and spew more lies. They spew it to keep this country divided, they basically keep the coup going, and that's what he's doing. If you don't think this is part of the coup, then I'm here to tell you it is. He put the country through a lie.
At the same time we had Ukraine, at the same time we had Afghanistan collapse. Was that the role of the Intel Committee?
The same time, see, what is he saying? The same time we had Ukraine, the same time we had the Afghan collapse. This is the other thing that drives me insane that, of course, Republicans do all the time, the corporate media does. They just throw shit out. There's no specifics. It's just everyone's supposed to understand exactly what he means. And, of course, if you're ill-informed, you just go, okay, I guess that was bad. So, meantime, we had Ukraine. What about Ukraine? That Russia was invading Ukraine? And what does that have to do with the impeachment? Because the fact is, Donald Trump was withholding money that the taxpayers promised Ukraine for its defense of democracy when the wolf was at its door. When the big hero that the Republicans admire, Putin, was doing his best Hitler impression by trying to invade a sovereign democratic country and hoping that no one would give a shit.
At the same time we had Ukraine, at the same time we had Afghanistan collapse. Was that the role of the Intel Committee? No.
What?
So what I am doing with the Intel Committee, bringing it back to the jurisdiction it's supposed to do.
Listen to the faux rage. Bringing it back? And we know he's just a liar. He will say anything. And now he's the speaker of the clowns.
We're looking to keep this country safe. Keep the politics out of it.
Yeah, that's it, Kevin.
So yes, I'm doing exactly what we're supposed to do.
What a dirtbag.
Last question.
You realize that he is a dirtbag. And here, actually, Adam Kinzinger commented on it.
About George Santos for a moment. I'm just reading a tweet here from Scott Wong. Speaker McCarthy says, well, a lot of folks here in Congress have fabricated part of their resume, and Santos will have to build the trust of voters. And he says that Santos will get some committee assignments, not the top ones. Oh, God. But of course, he's a freshman. I mean, why would he? But my Kevin being my Kevin when it comes to George Santos, they're not going to do anything about him, are they? Really?
No, Kevin's a piece of shit. And let's just be honest about this, because he will say whatever he needs to say to stay in power. I'm not even saying that gratuitously to be mean to him. It's just a fact. Yep. Look at him taking Swalwell and Schiff off of committees, okay, and Ilhan Omar. He's saying, well, that's because you guys took Marjorie Taylor Greene and Gosar. And keep in mind, both of those were bipartisan votes, okay? Right. We did it because Marjorie Taylor Greene, Jewish space lasers, school shootings never happened, among other things. Paul Gosar, because he attended a white supremacy conference. It's a little different.
Yep.
And that was, a couple years after Kevin McCarthy threw Steve King off of committees for doing even less than what Paul Gosar did. So, no, on the Santos things, it's different. Yeah, tons of people can exaggerate, parts of their resume. It's different than making up a whole new life. And it's different too than going from being worth $50,000 to $20 million in a year and trying to figure out how that happened. But Kevin needs his vote. If this was a 20 vote majority, he'd throw Santos under the bus, but it's a 5 vote. So he needs.
Yep. And there you go. And just to remind everybody, like Adam Kinzinger said, they weren't thrown off committees for no fucking reason. They were thrown off committees for just what he said. Jewish space laser, because Marjorie Taylor Greene was a QAnon. Remember, she had to give a speech on the floor, and before they threw her off the committee, she was trying to, she was lying. She was saying, I never heard of Q. I don't know what it is. I don't believe that. But we had her own words and writing saying that school shootings were a hoax. So that's why she was taken off committees. And it wasn't just the Democrats. So some of the Republicans in moderate districts also voted to take her off the committees because she's an embarrassment. And the same thing with Paul Gosar for speaking at a white nationalist conference. That's when Republicans, they don't want anyone to remember. Everything goes down the memory hole. So sort of like now, just like all the time, everything goes down the memory hole. There's no specifics, right? Oh, so we're supposed to say the impeachment's a hoax. Okay. Things like that. Just don't remember what the actual impeachment was. Just say it's a hoax again and again and again. And what was the other one? Who else was thrown off? It was Marjorie Taylor Greene, Paul Gosar, and I forgot the third one. No, it went out of my head. But it's tit for tat for them. There's no reason to take these people off committee. But you have to lie then. You have to say that Eric Swalwell, doesn't matter how many times the FBI comes in and says, no, stop lying, you filthy fascist lickspittle. Republicans are not happy unless they're destroying America and twisting people up. Forget the general welfare. That's part of the whole Republican point. They want people to be at each other's throats, twisted with all kinds of lies. If only they could just run your stupid political party. You don't like taxes on the rich, low regulations, but they can't run a majority party like that because nobody wants what they're selling. So they have to lie and they have to tell everybody you're under attack. We saw that in full effect with the George Santos interview. See, they want to come. They're coming for me because I'm working for you, and if it wasn't for me, you might be carjacked. Here's Eric Swalwell immediately, of course, as part of what Eric Swalwell is doing. He's posting the death threats that he's getting. Here's someone called his office.
Getting your ass kicked off the committee is the least of your problems. The American people aren't going to be happy till we see you fucking hang by the neck until dead. Legally.
You see? How
through trial. Have a nice swing, asshole.
Wow. They won't be happy. And nothing will stop them, though. They will never learn. That's part of being a Republican. Being a Republican means never saying sorry, never learning from new information. You have to be a real dirtbag anyway to identify with them at this point. That's why when I saw that those Republicans, the Nassau County Republicans, and I guess they were Republicans, I thought, wow. It was really nice seeing... Here, let me play a little bit of it. Let's see. Hold on. That's an ad. Skip the ad. Hold on. I have to play it off the screen.
2022 was... Hello, Anthony.
Let's see.
Do the people's work, but it will not include Santos. Thank you.
There's just some of them.
Thank you. Senator Patricia Canzoneri Fitzpatrick.
Thank you, Chairman Cairo. Today is indeed a very sad day in that we must call for the resignation of Congressman George Santos. The public trust has been violated in numerous ways, and there is no way for the public to ever have faith in his word. As a mom of 4 who has tried to be a leader and an example to my children of what it means to be a public servant, to work for the people, to be trustworthy, and to stick to the promises that you make. He is the antithesis of what every person behind me and next to me is. It is a great stain on the Republican Party of Nassau County today that he worked with us. He does not represent our values, our commitment to be honest, hardworking government servants. Every person behind me is absolutely deserving of the honor of representing the public, and George Santos is not.
Isn't that nice to hear? Anyway, and it did make me long for a day to where we would have a normal Republican Party again. I mean, not in my lifetime. I have never seen it, but I hear rumors. I hear stories. But yeah, not now. Could you imagine? Instead we get inundated with lies constantly from this filth. For example, there's more filth here. I just wanted to play another George Santos video of him selling the Ponzi scheme.
Numbers. Currently at Harbor City Capital, I manage a $1.5 billion fund, right? And I know how to manage it well. I give record returns. To anybody who watches this, they'll understand I'm giving, a 12% fixed yield income return a year, which nobody in the market's giving for. And
that's just like Bernie Madoff, right? Everybody was giving about 3-4% returns. He was doing like 15. Now he says he's what's his name? George Santos says his Ponzi scheme gives you 12%. So I like the way he doesn't go overboard, just enough to keep you on the hook.
12. We're also giving up to 20 to 26% in IRR return on our.
Oh wow, 20 to 26%. Forget it. He's beaten Bernie Madoff.
Investors' capital. So if there's something I know how to do is manage dollars and grow them.
So he can take your money and turn it give you a 25% return. Wow. Well, it's funny why Citibank and Goldman Sachs wouldn't hire him. Isn't that crazy?
Currently at Harbor City Capital, I manage a $1.5 billion fund, right? And I know how to manage it well. I give record returns. To anybody who watches this, they'll understand I'm giving a 12% fixed yield income return a year, which nobody in the market's giving
No one
for.
ever heard
and
of
we're
it.
giving 12.
No one ever heard of such a bullshit. Because if you think it's too good to be true, it is. The shamelessness is incredible. But, hey. It was known. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's see how it goes. Another, I just wanted to show this other thing. That perjury trader Greene. See, this is who Republicans are. They do nothing. And this is something that we'll have to brace ourselves for the next 2 years until we can get rid of these pricks legally and peacefully. But perjury trader Greene had a rally, because this is all Republicans do. It's just she's hating trans people. So she had an anti-trans rally on at the Capitol. Could you imagine people waking up in the morning, putting on their shoes, getting ready to go out and gather in a rally against other human beings who just want to fucking leave them the fuck alone. Leave people alone, you dumb bitch. Perjury Trader Greene. This is from LGBTQ Nation. But the good news, actually, this is a good news story, I suppose, in a way, because no one came. About 12 people came to her rally, and that's the Republican Party in a nutshell. See, no one normal wants what they're peddling. It's the truth, and they know that. That's why they have to lie. That's why they have to tickle those large amygdalas in the average Joe Republican dupe. So from LGBTQNation.com, Perjury Trader Greene held an anti-trans rally at the Capitol and almost no one came. So that's good. So let's see. A whopping 12 or so people attended and no major media outlets covered it. Well, that must probably because she's being picked on and canceled. She's canceled. They're cancel culturing her. The rally was a veritable who's who of contemporary transphobic trolls, including members of the book-banning parents' rights group, Moms for Liberty, members of the anti-LGBTQ conservative think tank, the Heritage Foundation, a detransitioned young adult right-wing media darling, Chloe Cole, because, you know, one person, if one, there are millions of people, right? And if one person fits into their fear-mongering somehow, well, that must mean that everyone is wrong, and they're right. J.K. Rowling fanboy Chris Elson, conspiracy theorist James Lindsay, sexually harassing comedian Alex Stein, comedian in quotes, and of course Greene herself. Oh, this is that bitch. I never heard of these people, so thankfully. You know who's here. You know who's here. Guess who's back. Junior's back. I can't show you him until, because it can't do the split screen with. There he is. There he is. There's my boy, my baby, my boo-boo. Okay, who is this person? I never heard of her. Who cares? Former trans kid. Okay. You sound whatever. I have no opinion on you. I just wish you would shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Because I see you're one trans detransitioner, and I'll raise you how many countless others who are finally free and feeling like, okay, I can breathe. The protesters held signs proclaiming children cannot consent to puberty blockers. Who are you? I mean, shut the fuck up. Get your filthy, sick noses out of other people's business. No one is going to be like, hey, if a child, leave it up to the parents, goddamn you. These are the same parents, the same people that are like, oh, parents are being treated like domestic terrorists because we don't, those woke liberals aren't, they say things when they show up to, some school board and start flipping tables and threatening people. And, they're just acting like domestic terrorists. So, but they don't ever dare treat them like that. So, but we could look forward to more of these stunts. And I just find it horrific how that's all Republicans have. It's always targeting someone else, right? It's always targeting a group of people who, they have, first of all, they have no clue about, and they don't give a shit who they hurt. It doesn't matter how many times people try to explain to them. They have no interest in that. They see an opportunity, and it's always been this way. Used to be like this. I remember growing up, seeing right-wingers rallying for against gay people in general, just gays, you know. Don't be gay. Don't watch this gay on a TV show. Don't read a gay book. Don't, you know, I mean, all kinds of bullshit like this that gets people killed. And now trans people, that's their latest, because there's a lot of misinformation and ignorance. And of course, whenever the pee-pee patrol's in charge, they're very concerned about the pee-pee. You know that. That's all they have. Because even their sky spook, when they worship that very tiny man on a cloud. And I mean, he is a small. He might be giant, but he is very small. Because he has the wisdom of all the universe, supposedly. He knows everything. He knows every hair on your head. He knows the Alpha and the Omega. I don't know what. Yeah, he knows it all, except he just wants to know about your pee-pee. He cares if you masturbate. He wants your pee-pee to be somehow honored in the bathroom or something. I don't know. It's weird. But it seems like, I might be wrong, but their giant sky spook is a version. It's just them. That's why he's so small and petty. I never understand. Why would you, if you're going to have a god, why don't you make up a god that's worthy? Not this, I'm a jealous god. Jealousy is such a basic bitch emotion. If you're jealous, why are you jealous? You know, if you're jealousy betrays a sort of a level of emotional immaturity, right? Where you're not secure in yourself. You know, I mean, it's not a very high emotion. It's the reflection of someone who needs to go to therapy and work on themselves a little bit. Don't you think? Well, I'm a jealous god. That's why even when I was a kid and I was going to CCD instruction, I would be like, what is that shit? I'm a jealous god? At least with the Greeks and the Romans, their gods, they had these emotions, but you know, they were supposed to. They were supposed to be giant versions of fucked up people. Like the Avengers or something. Superheroes that could do things. They would just pop down and all of a sudden you'd be pregnant. Right? And that's I love that story. And it's so true, though. We talked about it before, about the whole myth, the whole creation myth of the Jesus creation myth. We know is, just Occam's razor, that shit. You know that Mary, because the story, the contemporary story of Jesus at the time when Christians and so-called pagans coexisted simultaneously, was that Mary, there was no virgin birth. Mary was in love with a Roman soldier, and he got her pregnant, and she was already betrothed to Joseph, and rather than get stoned to death, she made up this story that she was impregnated by the giant sky spook. And yeah, there you go. It's really true. What do you think are the odds? And so now they built this whole bullshit around some 15-year-old kid who just was trying to save her family's shame and herself from being murdered. And at the time, the pagans, they all knew it. They all wrote about it openly, mocked the Christians for it. Anyway, Right, Junior? You know all about that. Right, honey? All right, what time is it? Where are we? It's getting hot in this. Oh my God, I only have 2 minutes. Well, anyway, the good news story is that Marjorie Taylor Greene, her big announcement, her big rally. Here, let's look at them in our last 2 minutes. This is the big rally, and it was a dud. Look at that. And my God, Marjorie, you are such a dumb, legally and peacefully. There are two genders, male and female. Trust the science. Imagine that's your damage, right? That's your obsession. Well, honey, we've been trying to tell you you're wrong. Trust the science. You're not trusting the science. You should say trust the pee-pee. That's what that means. There are two genders, male and female. Trust the science. You know, science is your gender identity is in your brain. It's not in your pee-pee. We know that's the science. Perjury. But anyway, that's what I mean. You can we waste our air, we waste our breath on these Republicans. You can't graft a new idea on a closed mind. And the nature of conservatism is never, ever, ever taking in new information or learning. Children are never born in the wrong body, says this lady. It's okay. I guess I don't even know. They're just ridiculous. I'm sure they're wearing contacts. They have other forms of medical intervention. You know, it's okay. We will win. We are on the right side of history, decency, dignity, and democracy. We stick together, we win. If you can become a patron, please do at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Support Tarabuster sponsors, APS Radio News. And my name is Tara Devlin. Hang out. We stick to work. I'll see you soon. Boo. I know, right? Terry Taylor on the chat. I can't. I just heavy sigh. I can't. It's true. It's so sad. Because that's what you spend your time. Go volunteer somewhere. Go, do something that isn't horrible for once in your life. Right? This is what you do with your spare time. Why not go and learn? I was going to say go to the library while you still can. All right, my friends. I saw Kay dropped a super chat, dropping in and out with a quick super chat. Gotta wait and listen to the show on the podcast. Oh, hi, Kay. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Tell your friends about the show, everybody. Listen. We gotta bounce. But do me a favor if you can. Please do it. You know the drill. Share the show. Invite your friends. Come on and, I don't know, whatever. Join us. Join our Discord page. And I guess, listen. We will have a show, of course, coming up this week. As we do during the week. But if you can, if one day we get enough patrons, we will have a daily show at a set time. At this point, we'll see. But, okay, guys, I gotta go because I got lights out over here. I have to get the show ready for Progressive Voices. I just have a lot going on. And I hope it'll be fun. It is actually fun watching the drama of George Santos. You know that it will be a Netflix series. So we do live in interesting times, but we do have a lot of work to do. Okay, my friends. Thank you, guys. Thank you all. Thank you, Jim and Haiku, for being moderators. And thank you, Tara Jr., for being an emotional support cat. Look at the camera. Hey, buddy. What is wrong with you? What's that on your chin? I bought him Dinovite. It didn't arrive yet. For his itchiness. It'll come. Hopefully you'll get some relief. Stop biting your mama. No biting mama. Hey, don't knock the camera over either. All right, honey. Let me see this face. What's this on your chin? All right, I won't touch your chin. All right, my friends. Listen. Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out. And I will see you. What? Hold on. He keeps knocking everything over. Where is it? All right, guys. I'll see you very soon. I'll probably Wednesday. I'll see you later.